So today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called Why Poland is Thriving While the UK is Falling Apart. And yeah, again, being British, I completely agree. Like, I'm getting to the point I'm embarrassed about the state of the UK at the moment. Everything about it, like the political scene, the political parties, the economy, everything, man, just day-to-day life. The state of the country itself, by like just looking at the cleanliness, tidiness, the lack of innovation I always talk about. It's embarrassing, and everything I learned about Poland is just the complete opposite of the UK. Thriving, innovative, people who respect and love their country. Just everything's good about it. It's a really great news story, or a great story, especially considering its growth since the early 90s. Interested to see this, interested to see the reasons, and tell me what you think about the comparison between those two countries.
The Polish people way of life is much better than where I am.
Is it?
Yeah.
Than in London?
Yeah. London is a frenetic city. It's crazy. It's, it runs at 3,000 miles an hour. You never see the same person twice. You really. No.
So take me back in time growing up in the UK, because you spent much of your time in the UK.
Oh, I was born there.
You didn't have, like, let's say, part of your life where you lived truly in Poland?
No.
No. Would you like to live in Poland?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Why do you think you had this, let's say, calling inside you, like that you want to connect with Poland? You are half Polish, half
That's right.
British.
Yes.
Obvious.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me, or at least the way I see it, that you are more Polish than British. Am I right?
I think a lot of it's to do with that. And the more time I spend here, the more I feel the way of life, the Polish people way of life, is much better than where I am.
Is it?
Yeah.
Than in London?
Yeah.
And that's what I agree with that. I feel like, again, I've not been to Poland. I hope to go. But from everything I've learned, and I've watched videos of people going to Poland on holiday and travelling and things and coming into contact with Polish people and so on, it just seems like Polish people are, I feel like, more educated, more intelligent to begin with. I feel like Polish people care more about their country or have more pride in being Polish. I feel like these days a lot of British people are like, they don't have that pride, and maybe it's all just this vicious circle of the economy, cost of living, and the bad political decisions that are making people feel that lack of pride. Maybe there's other reasons for that as well, like the high immigration and people feeling a bit lost and things like that as well. But yeah, I feel from my uneducated opinion, but I feel like Polish people are just like in a better place really than
London
British
is a
people.
frenetic city. It's crazy. It's it runs at 3,000 miles an hour. You never see the same person twice. You really no. I mean, you could go to a place, you never see them again.
That's it.
Seriously, 9 million people. I don't know how many people are here.
2.
Well, there you go. So where I live, it probably is 2 million, yeah? So, my little area. But I think it's, and also a lot of it's to do with, I'm Catholic.
Right.
And obviously London, the UK is mainly Protestant after our King Henry VIII. So I like the sort of the Catholic values. The family is first, and the way that things are. It's more orderly here. There's more respect here. That's the word.
Yeah, respect is, I think, the big thing, and I think it's like a growing lack of respect from people in the UK. I don't know how much of that's down to religion. Maybe it's just as I said, the education level maybe being lower in the UK. People are not so educated, they don't have that, they're just not taught to respect as much these days. Do you think religion still has a big role to play in Poland with regards to that, or do you think people are just more educated, they get brought up better by their parents in Poland? What do you think the reason for that is?
What do you mean respect in terms of?
Amongst people here, especially with the elders. In the UK, we're losing all that respect. We got no time for them. Hence the stories that they need to be told. Did you know what your grandfather and grandmother went through? And I think people are losing touch of that. And I think it's because London is such a big city, and there's so many people there. It's such a mix, and it's great for that. Don't get me wrong, it has it. But there's a certain lifestyle here that, and I think, mind you, Poland's going to catch up. I mean, I always saw it as kind of 10 years behind the UK, but it's moving fast, right?
Right.
It's moving fast. A lot of energy here.
It kind of makes me, I don't want to say sad, but because when you mention, London, it is obviously very advanced mentality, mindset, like here in Poland, we think it's a little behind, but it's really not. And like you said, the quality of the lifestyle, the values, the respect.
That's it. They're key to a good society and people moving forward together. We don't have that togetherness. Yeah, we have that it's a bit fractured. And I don't know why, and I don't want to get into the politics of it, but it's...
Maybe we can what do you think went wrong? Let's say, what do you think went wrong? If we can call it that way, wrong.
I think it's just the people are selfish. There's just they're more looking after themselves. They don't really look beyond anyone else's problems. And I think because we hear so often, this has gone wrong. I think you just sort of turn off to it and think, I can't be bothered to worry about it anymore. I've got to. And I think living in London also is very expensive. Don't forget.
Right.
So it's survival mode there. I mean, I was speaking to my friends here, not you about it, but I'm sure you'll tell me that how much things have got expensive here.
Right.
Yeah, things have gone up in price. And
that's what I exactly mean, but I don't want it to get to the level of London.
Well, so obviously you get paid more in London, but the problem is that I think the gap between what you're getting paid and the cost of living is great. So there's we've got a lot of problems, on that front, which means that people don't have the time to care about each other anymore.
I think that's might be the explanation.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself because I'm thinking, how am I going to survive all this? I need to get through this, yeah? And, and there's obviously, during these times, people need more help and more, and you see it all the time. The adverts on the TV have turned from like washing up liquid to help, homeless shelters, refugee centres and sending money to Ukraine, sending money here, sending money there. And, it's now all donations.
So when you had this idea of having a family, were you thinking like to enter this project, if I may?
Yeah.
With like teaching your future kids about the Polish thing, or do you want them to be? What I'm trying to say, did you have a similar idea as your father, who
Exactly
was practically done with Poland?
Exactly the same. I felt my upbringing was amazing. I can't fault him. He didn't know what he was doing, but he did his best. But he always kept. I think we're not a really religious family. We went to church a lot when we were kids, but when you get older, you kind of lose sight of religion, And I think when you get older, you go back to it because you think, I'm going to die. What's it all about? But we went to church, and I think all that kind of moral teaching, which is why because the church is very important here, isn't it? I mean, it's very strong. It practically runs the country with the politicians, doesn't it? So it has some good and some bad.
Is that true? What is that related to? Does the church have any power in politics, or is there any sort of connection there?
But the main thing is the moral code. Once you break the moral code with people, then there's kind of anarchy. So I think the way that he taught us to be loving and caring, and look after our neighbour if we could. We think of him and we smile because we say, do you remember when he used to tell us this? And just the way he was. His family was everything to him. He would do anything for it. I mean, he worked and worked, and he would sacrifice. I mean, I remember him wearing the same shoes for like 3 years.
Wow.
So he could buy us something new. And especially, and I felt terrible now later on when I was thinking that I remember being such a brat and saying, I want this, as a child, I want a bike or something, I want this. And not realizing where it was coming from.
Right.
And they're the things. And he would go off and he would do something and he would turn up with this thing. And I never realized, and I was just being spoiled, but I didn't realize what went into it. It's only when I was older I realized, oh my God, what, the things you did for us, If you're asking me, did my father influence me? Yes, of course. He gave me he pushed me all in the right directions, even when I didn't want to go over there. It was like, get back over here. This is where you want to be going. And he was right. He was right. So I love him for that.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, I guess that's a little bit about that guy's background. He's obviously half Polish, half British, I think, by the sounds of it. So yeah, again, getting taught those values is important. I guess that's something that still goes on in Poland and maybe not so much in the UK. Again, like family, parents, like again, like you see in the UK, a lot of people not really instilling discipline in their children in the UK, and it's growing up and then that's causing problems. Maybe it's just better in Poland for that. I don't know. You can tell me what you think the reason is, why Poland's thriving, why the UK is falling apart. Thanks.